Some of you are going to look at these and think, well, I don't need to do that. I get warm when I lift decent weights. But take this point. The more motor patterns you expose yourself to and the more different motor patterns and coordination patterns you expose yourself to, the stronger you are going to get. So don't get stuck doing the same thing over and over. Think of different ways you can modify your warm-up that will end up allowing you to hit bigger weights in the long run. I'm Tom Hibbert. Welcome to Winning Strength Online. And I'm going to give you 3 different ways to warm up for the log. One if you're a beginner, one if you're generally tight in certain areas, and one that will help you improve certain motor patterns that will improve your log clean and press. Option number 1 is the option I traditionally use for beginners. Why? I break the movement pattern down into 5 parts so you can focus on each individual part so you don't get overloaded and overwhelmed. Part number 1 is the deadlift. So we're looking to angle the handles ever so slightly depending on the size of your log, and then we're looking to deadlift up, back down. Log is in constant contact with the body. The main thing I want to see is to ensure that people's hips don't kick up and then upper back moves, which would look something like this. It's the biggest problem I see with deadlifts and deadlifting the log. This should be the easiest part. You don't want to use any excess energy on this part. So you want to make sure hips and upper back move at the same time. After you've done 3 to 5 reps perfecting that deadlift technique, you would then move on to deadlift and squat. So the first part in this sequence is going to move into the next part. So you're going to deadlift again. Make sure you come all the way up, because if you stop short, it puts you in a bad position for this next part, which is the squat. When you squat down, you want to make sure your torso's up and elbows are flared. And then again, we work on doing 3 to 5 reps of that movement pattern. So part number 3 is actually moving on to the clean. The clean I teach first is not a belt or a belly clean, it's actually a hip clean, which is why I'm getting you to flare your elbows at the bottom. So again, we're going to deadlift. We're going to flare elbows out, keep torso upright. As you stand up, log will stay on your lap, and then roll from your hips. So you're not pulling it into your stomach. You actually relax a little bit here, and then hit it with your hips and roll up. With a beginner, traditionally I will wait until they've got their head back and their chest up and the log is touching here, because you want that position for a nice stable rack to allow you to do a big push press. 4th part in this sequence, after you've done 3 to 5 reps of that clean, is actually a strict press. The reason I do strict press before I do push press, especially with beginners, I don't really want them to push press something they can't strict press at that point. Usually that leads to all sorts of precarious situations. So again, perfect each part. So deadlift all the way up, squat nice and upright, hip clean, and then we're looking to press, put your head through. Press and put your head through. And again, we're looking for 3 to 5 reps of that. 5th and final part is putting it all together, doing the deadlift, squat, clean, and actually push pressing this time. So it should look something like this. And again, 3 to 5 reps, bringing it control back down to your chest and doing 3 to 5 reps from the chest up. Option number 2 when warming up for the log is actually a complex. And what I tend to do is I would use these as I'm warming up to the log. So I would use them, say, on 40 kilos, 60, 80, 100. Then I'm into my work sets where I'm not doing complex work. So this complex helps the general movement pattern and warms up the musculature that's involved. So we do an RDL to stretch out the hamstrings and then into the squat position. RDL, squat. RDL, squat. Then we're looking at the squat clean before moving on to strict or push press. I will generally do 2 to 3 reps on those movement patterns, and I will increase the weight, as I said, 40, 60, 80, 100 as I get up towards my work sets. Option number 2 is good if you just want to refine movement patterns and get into a different way of warming up. This one, option number 3, is great if you've got areas of musculature or joints that are presenting as tight, especially ones that are integral to a good log clean and push press. So, first point of this is deadlift, and then we're going to be taking an extended time in the squat position. In this squat position, we're looking to work ankle mobility by pushing the knee as far forward as we can. Ankle mobility being key for lower body injuries, but also will help with positioning in this part of the movement, but also will help with the distance your knees can travel forward in the dip. Second part of this movement is a bit more static at the ankles, so I'm just sitting in the squat position, but I'm taking the arm, I'm trying to stretch lats, I'm twisting for a bit of thoracic mobility as well, and I'll do that a few times on each side. Then we get into the clean and the press.